Assalamualaikum and good evening. These are the headlines for tonight. 710 individuals honored for loyal service. Special task force to review maritime assets, and Sarawak withholds its Unity title. With me, Muhammad Yusuf for TVS News, TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. A total of 710 civil servants from 35 government departments and agencies have been conferred the Loyalty Service Medals. Of the 35 departments and agencies, 29 are state departments and agencies, while 6 others come under the federal government. Premier Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg was present to officiate at the Kuching Division Loyalty Service Medal Presentation Ceremony 2023, which was held at the Raya Hotel and Convention Centre on March 20th. Leading the list of recipients was State Attorney General Datuk Sri Talat Mahmud Abdul Rashid, who has served for 34 years. Meanwhile, under the head of department's list, apart from Talat, the medals were also presented to 11 other recipients who had served for over 25 years. 23 recipients received their Loyalty Service Medals for having served faithfully and with dedication. Also present were Deputy Premier Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian and Sarawak Government Secretary Datuk Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Mazuki. Now, a special task force has been formed to tackle the issues faced by the shipping industry players on registration of ships and survey of vessels exceeding 500 gross ton or GT operating in Sarawak waters. Minister of Transport Sarawak Datuk Sri Lee Kim Shin said the measure was to ensure the shipping sector is well administered and continues to progress. This was taking into consideration the importance of facilitating the transportation of essential items and other daily necessities in times of need. The task force comprised of directors from marine departments of Sarawak region, with members of MOTS, Sarawak Rivers Board LSS, SMM, and Sarawak Association of Maritime Industries SAMIN.
Now today at our meeting, after listening to the briefing by the Department of Marine Sarawak region and also by our Ships Classification Malaysia SCM, and all our from my ministry and all the stakeholders concerned, we have decided to form a task force to look into the details and come up with a proposal. Meanwhile, in our briefing today, the Ship Owners Association has been requested to submit the proposals within 1 month. A task force has been formed, headed by our Director of Marine Department, Sarawak Region, with members from my ministry, from Sarawak Rivers Board, also from our Ship Classification Malaysia, from the Ship Owners Association, Shipbuilders Association, and also from our Association of Maritime Industries. So all the stakeholders will get together and go into the detail and come up with a full proposal before we make a decision.
Lee pointed out that the Sarawak and Sabah Ship Owners Association, SSSA, was asked to submit the proposal within a month. Also present were Director of Marine Department Sarawak Region, Muhammad Marzuki Ibrahim, Directors of Ships Classification Malaysia, Dato' Abdul Jamil Murshid, Head of Maritime and Riverine Division, Teo Sui An, and Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Transport Sarawak, Dato' Insigne Alice Jawan Ampaling. Now, the strong racial religious tolerance has translated clearly in Sarawak's unity, a core feature to why it was chosen for the inaugural celebration of National Unity Week on May 20th. And National Unity Minister Dato' Aaron Agodagang said the multiracial harmony in Sarawak is a prime example for others to emulate nationwide.
Di Sarawak dan di Sabah itu dari segi perpaduan kita tak ada masalah. Kita memang hidup bersama everyday, kita tak ada isu perpaduan, tidak ada isu race and religion di sana. Everybody living together, peaceful in harmony.
The ceremony will be graced by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, and that the event will also be telecasted nationwide.
Semua state di seluruh negara, di Kita Kinabalu, di Johor, di Pulau Pinang dan sebagainya. Pengisian memang banyak, berbagai acara perpaduan termasuk kebudayaan, kesenian, paramatu, macam-macam lah. Semua ethnic group dipinta untuk bersama-sama merayakan hari perpaduan itulah. Banyak program. Lain daripada, of course kita ada pemeliharaan, semua agensi disuruh untuk mengadakan pemeliharaan masing-masing.
He also noted that the ceremony would begin with the recital of the national principles to inculcate the spirit of unity among Malaysians.
Now, Malaysia has reached an understanding with the Indonesian government over the investment and supply of hydrogen gas to Nusantara. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said Indonesian President Joko Widodo had previously informed him of the understanding between the Sarawak state government and Indonesia.
Sarawak dalam persefahaman dengan kerajaan Indonesia yang telah dimaklum oleh Presiden Jokowi pada saya awal lagi, iaitu tentang ekspor gas dan hidrogen ke ibu negara Nusantara elektrik juga, ya. Jadi mana perkembangan ini amat membantu dalam menambah keyakinan kepada rakyat.
Previously, the Prime Minister pointed out that at least 10 national companies were looking at potential large-scale investments in the new Indonesian capital city. Meanwhile, Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng, who was also present at the media conference after the Unity Government Secretariat meeting, said the matter has been brought forward during a recent meeting in Kalimantan.
Saya berkesempatan di Indonesia bersama dengan Presiden Indonesia dalam pelaburan Sarawak dalam tenaga hidro di Melinau, Kalimantan Utara. Dan ini membayangkan keyakinan jiran kita kepada keutuhan pemerintahan kita di Malaysia ini, dan pembangunan ekonomi adalah menjadi satu keutamaan kepada kita. Ia akan melimpah kepada rakyat jelata.
Now, today was the first day of school for session 2023-2024, allowing students to embark on new opportunities in their academic journey. As there will be no lessons in the first week, instead, during the period, it will be filled with sessions that instill physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and intellectual values. The inaugural initiative is being done at the start of the new school term introduced by the Ministry of Education under the Murid Ceria, Guru Bahagia, Sekolah Bitara dan Negara Sejahtera.
The concepts will have a direct influence on the students' social skills that will be taught to the students, especially the young ones who just started schools in Primary 1.
Jadi pada pagi ini di SK Putrajaya, sekolah yang kita rawat, kita nampak pada hari pertama ini, pada awal pagi mereka melaksanakan satu aktiviti senam aerobik. Tujuannya ialah untuk dari segi kesehatannya, dari segi kesihatan kita nak pelajar cergas kan. Mereka dapat berkenal-kenalan satu sama lain. Mereka rasa seronok. Kalau sebelum ini, tahun-tahun yang lepas, dari segi pelaksanaannya, murid-murid bila masuk saja terus belajar. Jadi mereka belum sempat lagi berkenal satu sama lain. Yang mana pada hari pertama dan minggu pertama ini, pihak sekolah diminta untuk melaksanakan satu aktiviti dan program yang boleh mewujudkan suasana ceria yang menyeronokkan di kalangan murid yang datang ke sekolah lah.
He said this when met by reporters at SK Putrajaya earlier today. Explaining further, he believes that the first week program of the school session can also foster various values such as cooperation and close understanding between students, teachers, and parents. Meanwhile, Omar said, in this session, a total of 408,642 students have registered, with 32,642 being Primary 1 students. In regards to schooling during the upcoming month of Ramadan, schools conducted an evening session in the states of Sabah, the Federal Territory of Labuan and Sarawak ends at 5 p.m, while morning session schools will operate as usual.
Now, the sharing of knowledge between oil and gas industry players in Sarawak and oil and gas research institutions is vital in the ever-growing industry, especially in Sabah and Sarawak. Hence, the director of the Malaysian Petroleum Research Centre, University Technology Malaysia UTM MPRC Institute for Oil and Gas, or known as IFOG, Associate Professor Dr. Agus Arsat said collaboration between UTM and the oil and gas industry players in Sarawak is a positive step towards empowering advancement in education and research and development tailored to meet the needs of the industry.
Memandangkan perkembangan penggunaan gas di Borneo, terutamanya Sabah dan Sarawak, dan Suruhanjaya Tenaga telah dibentuk khas di Borneo, terutamanya Sarawak dan juga Sabah. Mereka ada requirement ataupun kelayakan ataupun keperluan tertentu. Jadi daripada situ, sebabkan di Semenanjung hanya IFOG sahaja yang menawarkan khusus ini. Jadi berdasarkan pengalaman yang sudah lama sejak 1983 dan kemudian diiktiraf 1997 di bawah Suruhanjaya Tenaga dan lain-lain lagi lah. Jadi
Agus added, his organisation is committed to enhancing this understanding and collaboration through hybrid courses as well as face-to-face.
Program-program ini sebenarnya di bawah akta yang dikendalikan oleh Suruhanjaya Tenaga Putrajaya itu sekarang lah. Dan program ini sebenarnya melibatkan kepada beberapa mode hybrid dan face to face. Tapi sekarang ni disebabkan kerana perkembangan penggunaan gas telah berkembang cukup besar dan kita boleh melihat penglibatan beberapa industri terutamanya di Borneo, Sabah dan Sarawak. Dan disebabkan itu program-program ini ditawarkan kepada pemain-pemain industri.
Recently, Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg announced that Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros will set up 4 gas hubs in Miri, Bintulu, Samalaju and Kuching. According to the Premier, the 4 hubs are based on the hub-and-spoke model, which will allow the whole of Sarawak to enjoy access to plenty of gas and clean energy supply.
Now, 2 blocks of a 27-door factory workers' quarters in Jalan Batukawa were engulfed in flames earlier today. A spokesman for the Fire and Rescue Department Bomba said they received an emergency call around 7:38 p.m. and immediately deployed firemen to the scene. And upon arrival, they found that the quarter was already engulfed in flames and was beyond saving. Fortunately, there were no injuries or casualties. And for more insights, let's hear it from Jalim Anggung, one of the 5 victims.
Kejadian berlaku, saya sendiri yang sedar, yang nampak dulu lah, sebab saya baru pulang dalam pukul 7 lalu dari Imat beli barang. Saya sampai dekat tempat kejadian, api sudah besar. Lepas itu saya panggil semua orang supaya keluar dari rumah. Barang memang tidak dapat selamat. Yang dapat selamat barang yang penting-penting aja yang dapat diselamat. Macam saya punya anak, buku sekolah dengan baju memang tidak dapat lagi lah. Habis semua. Kurang keluar selai pinggang lah. Selamatkan diri aja lah. Macam orang lain juga lebih kurang sama lah penghuni lainnya. Dia orang pun keluar macam selas pinggang juga lah, yang barang penting juga dia orang dapat selamatkan. Berapa buah rumah? 27 pintu yang masih ada, yang kena ya 27 pintu, yang tidak kena lah 3 buah aja. Yang lain semua habis lah, tidak dapat selamatkan lagi lah. Sebab 90% memang angus habis. Saya sendiri yang sedar, yang nampak dulu lah, sebab saya baru pulang dalam pukul 7 lalu dari Imat beli barang. Saya sampai dekat tempat kejadian, api sudah besar. Pas tu saya panggil semua orang supaya keluar dari rumah. Barang memang tidak dapat selamat. Yang dapat selamat barang yang penting-penting aja yang dapat diselamat. Macam saya punya anak buku sekolah dengan baju memang tidak dapat lagi lah. Habis semua. Cuma ada anak. Lebih kurang keluar selai pinggang lah. Selamatkan diri aja lah. Macam orang lain juga lebih kurang sama lah. Penghuni lainnya. Dia orang pun keluar. Macam selai pinggang juga lah. Yang barang penting juga dia orang dapat selamatkan. 27 pintu yang masih ada yang kena ya 27 pintu yang tidak kena lah 3 buah aja. Yang lain semua habis lah. Tidak dapat diselamatkan lagi lah. Sebab 90% memang angus habis.
Roughly around 7:38 p.m., the fire department Bomba received a distress call of a fire incident involving a workers' quarter along Jalan Batukawa. Fortunately, no injuries nor casualties were reported thus far, and the fire has been doused off by the firefighters at around 8:33 p.m. Here with me is the commanding officer, Tuan Zainuddin, to pinpoint the exact undertakings during this operation. Now, Tuan Zainuddin, can you work us through what had happened here?
Okay, basically, Bomba received a call around 19:38, 52 hours. Then after that, we sent 2 fire trucks to that incident area, and our Bomba team arrived around at 19:47 hours, and we start extinguish operation at 19:50 hours. Then we managed to control the fire around 20:33 hours, and lastly we end the operation at 22:15 hours.
All right, thank you Tuan Zainuddin for the insights. For more updates, do follow us on our news at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. I'm Handy Gui with videographer Faitullah Morni for TVS Kuching.
Thank you, Handy. We'll be taking a short break, and coming up right after, solar energy, a way forward for Sarawak, and Thailand dissolves parliament for election. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Meticulous planning is essential prior to harnessing the full potential of solar energy to reduce reliance on fossil fuel-based energy. UNIMAS Senior Lecturer, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Dr. Hazrul Muhammad Basri, said the initiative to establish an eco-friendly solar panel plant goes in tandem with the state's effort in accelerating its green energy sector.
This initiative also encourages growth in the green industry, attracting more eco-friendly companies and fostering innovation in renewable energy. Moreover, the establishment of the plant will create numerous job opportunities in various fields, such as manufacturing, engineering, research and development. As a result, the local economy will benefit, and a skilled workforce in the green energy sector will emerge.
Hazrul said this in response to an investment of 6.7 billion ringgit made by a consortium from China and Malaysia to construct the first integrated low-carbon silicon-based materials plant for the production of more eco-friendly solar panels, which will be based in Bintulu's Samalaju Industrial Park. The plant, which is set to be commissioned in 2026, will produce the solar panels locally, will cause the item to be sold cheaply, which will indirectly encourage a wider utilization of solar power.
This initiative presents an optimistic outlook for Sarawak's green energy goals. The long-term success of this project will be determined by the facility's actual carbon emission, advancement in technology, and the effective implementation of sustainable practices.
Though solar panels will be much cheaper when produced locally, transforming the construction industry from a fossil fuel-generated power to solar will incur a high implementation cost. Therefore, Dr. Hazrul calls upon the government to intervene in order to control the price of solar energy applications in the industry.
Because normally when new technologies come into market, for sure it will become very, very expensive. Okay, expensive for many reasons. For example, expensive because of still under research. Expensive maybe because of the construction of the facility. But if we look into solar PV technologies, actually these technologies are quite mature. When we want to shift from conventional technique to a more advanced technologies such as solar technologies, of course, we need to have skilled workers. So that's why actually I encourage the Sarawak government to look deeply into this aspect. We need to train more local champions to be more expert in this technology.
The utilization of solar has its advantages. Dr. Hazrul said it comes with several drawbacks.
Additionally, the effectiveness of the solar initiative will depend on the actual reduction. Another potential drawbacks which I can see from this technology is the needs to balance environmental concern with economic development. While the solar incentive is a step forward towards a greener future, Sarawak must also address the social and economic needs of its population. This is just to ensure that the benefits of the solar initiative are shared equitably amongst the state's residents, which is essential for the project's long term.
On to our next news, 839 Orang Asli communities in rural areas have gained access to the internet via satellite, involving areas in Sarawak, Sabah, Orang Asli villages, as well as several areas in Peninsular Malaysia. Minister of Communications and Digital, Fahmi Fazil, said this is one of the most encouraging achievements as of Q4 of 2022 through the Jalinan Digital Negara or Jendela plan, which began on September of 2020.
Pencapaian setakat suku keempat 2022 adalah seperti berikut. 7.74 juta premis telah diliputi dengan ketersediaan sambungan gentian optik, melepasi sasaran 7.5 juta premis yang ditetapkan. Kelajuan jalur lebar mudah alih pada kadar purata 116.03 megabit per second, melebihi sasaran kelajuan 35 Mbps yang disasarkan untuk dicapai pada penghujung tahun 2022.
Commenting further, Fahmi said 4G coverage in populated areas has also been expanded to 96.92%, surpassing the target of 96.9%. In addition, he said the implementation of 5G, which was originally planned under Phase 2 of Jendela for the period of 2023 to 2025, was also brought forward to Phase 1 at the end of 2021.
Pelaksanaan 5G yang dikendalikan Digital Nasional Berhad kini berada di landasan tepat untuk mencapai sasaran yang ditetapkan.
Now, following the tragic incident that occurred in Batang Kali, Selangor at the end of last year, the Ministry of Local Government Development, KPKT, believes that there is a need to carry out a legislation process of campsites nationwide. Its Deputy Minister Akmal Nasrullah Muhammad Nasir said this is to ensure existing campsites meet the operating guidelines as outlined under the draft camping site planning guidelines that will be finalized at the end of April.
Pihak Kerajaan Negeri Selangor sebenarnya pun telah memulakan proses pemutihan tapak-tapak ini sejak dan yang kita berjalan sehingga 31 Mac dia kenal pasti, dan proses pemutihan ini kita nak pastikan yang mereka telah beroperasi sebelum 15 Mac lagi. Jadi supaya yang mana dah beroperasi sehingga sekarang ini, kita perlu pertimbangkan mereka, iaitu dia kena daftar dengan pihak PBT untuk mendapatkan permit bangunan sementara ataupun PBS ini untuk mereka terus menjalankan operasi mereka ketika ini.
He said this during the question and answer session in the Dewan Rakyat today. As such, Akmal Nasrullah hoped that other state governments can carry out a similar legalization process to ensure campsites are safe for use. He added that among the important aspects related to the planning and control of the suitability of the camping site outlined is the safety of the site by determining the appropriate distance from prohibited and environmentally sensitive areas, the topographical conditions, and the appropriate degree of gradient and the structural.
And on to some global updates. Thailand dissolved its parliament on Monday, March 20th, to clear the way for an election in May. A vote set to reignite a long-running power struggle between a military-backed establishment and a political movement that has dominated elections for 2 decades.
However, no election date has been announced, but sources said the vote will take place on May 14. Thus far, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, the daughter and niece respectively of ousted former premiers Thaksin and Yingluck Shinawatra, is the front-runner to be Prime Minister in opinion surveys, with her support jumping 10 points to 38.2% in the poll released at the weekend. Meanwhile, the poll by the National Institute of Development Administration put Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, who has been in power since the 2014 coup against the few Thai government, in third place with 15.65%.
ที่ผ่านมาผมก็ดีใจว่าอย่างน้อยผมก็ได้สร้างสิ่งดีๆขึ้นมาสิ่งที่เป็นรายได้ของประเทศนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น EC ไม่ว่าจะในเรื่องของการอะไรล่ะสร้างอุตสาหกรรมใหม่ต่างๆเหล่านี้หลายอย่างที่ออกมาเป็นนโยบายของแต่ละพรรคเลยจริงๆแล้วก็คือรัฐบาลทำมาแล้วหมดนั่นแหละ
Wrapping up the Nightline, under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA 2014, the United States was granted access to 4 military bases on top of 5 existing locations, giving the Western power access to military bases in the Southeast Asian countries. Hence, U.S. officials on March 20th said that both countries are set to announce the new sites.
The One Defense AEP team looks forward to the timely completion of all EDCA projects, considering that those facilities would greatly help the Armed Forces of the Philippines boost its capability to ensure the country's defense. Most importantly, the facilities would contribute to the national effort in securing our country's sovereignty and territorial integrity, particularly in our maritime domain awareness.
And that's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, I'm Muhammad Yusuf. Thank you for watching and good night.